I've been on TV, I've been on the radio, I've spoken to newspapers and the Welsh Language Commissioner. I've quizzed people at the biggest festival of Welsh culture, and I've gained the support of you, my dearest audience.
And now the company has finished their preparations. I finished mine, mostly, and it is finally time to take the British citizenship test in Welsh.
Little did I know what else was about to be thrown my way.
When will I get the results? Because I heard...
It's really ironic.
So let's find out together. So welcome to Rhapsody in Lingo. My name is Israel, and almost half a year after I announced my plan, it's finally happening.
But first, I feel like after all the hard work I've put into this, I've earned myself a little treat, a bit of luxury, and also your like. So let's go.
I know what you're thinking. Israel, I thought you were having problems booking the test. Why are you taking it now? Well, first of all, thank you very much for watching the New Year's Day video, or New Year's Eve, I suppose. That's when it was uploaded. But a lot has happened since then, so let's catch you up, yeah? So basically what happened was I tried to book the test with a company. They stalled me for ages. I'm not sure if they were doing it on purpose. The point is, they took way too long than they were given, or they asked for themselves. So I had doubts. I made a video on New Year's Eve, sort of got some attention, especially across some Welsh related pages on social media. It got on Reddit, got on nation.cymru, and then I went on BBC Radio Wales, Radio Cymru, to talk about the situation. I actually spoke to S4C News as well, but then nothing sort of came out of that, but that's perfectly fine, because by that time I had already got some results, as you might say. So by the time I went on radio, the company had reached out and said, okay, fine. I'm sorry we took too long. Again, I still don't know if they wanted to do it. The company reached out and said, okay, fine, we'll do it. I'm sorry we took too long. And, well, we'll never know if they actually were trying to stall me or not. But the point is, they finally stopped stalling and gave me some dates. And quite surprisingly, they could actually do it within like 2 days of sending me that email, which is amazing. Maybe they had been preparing that for ages, maybe they hadn't been, who knows. Well, so they suggested some dates that I could book from 2 days after that email to the 30th of January. And then I thought, oh crap, I actually have to study now. I had been taking that easy at that point because they had been taking so much time, so I was like, it's going to be March by the time I do it, or if I even get to do it. But then suddenly they could do it in a flash, so I actually sped up my study. You can check out my streams for that. I did lots of practice questions in Welsh, obviously, and to be honest, I could have asked them for a later date. I could have asked them for February, but I was like, okay, might as well get it over with ASAP, you know, it just in case anything goes wrong. So yeah, it is now the end of January. I'm going down to Cardiff to actually take the test. So yeah, now you're caught up. So thank you very much for helping me make this happen. All of you who are watching this right now, you have played a part in helping me, because it would not have happened. I would not have got the media attention if you guys hadn't helped me push the story further on other platforms and also watched my video. I'm genuinely very grateful, and I hope that people who want to do this in the future won't have to do everything that I've done just to book the test. Because if causing a controversy and becoming a news item is a prerequisite for exercising a right that you're given, and even the test itself says you're given that right, then that right isn't really being respected after all. So yeah, I've got a couple of hours on this very nice train, first class. I'll talk more about that later. And hello.
Good afternoon. Would you like to have any complimentary drink?
Amazing, I'll get oat milk, please. Perfect.
Okay.
And I'll slowly go through this study guide. That's not the actual textbook that I need to study. I have done that already, all of it. This is like a condensed version of all the facts I need to know. Hopefully that will contain everything I need to know by heart, because by God, I have done so many questions that pissed me off. I will show you a montage by the end of this video, I promise. I'm genuinely so angry about the amount of detailed, specific facts I need to know about this country to pass the test. See you later. Menu in Welsh, of course, you have to do it. It's so funny. Far tri chili. What is far tri chili? Oh, 3 bean chili. That's literally, oh my god, they've got an actual steak. I've always been told that this route, this train, has the best food in all of the UK trains, so maybe it is true. I mean, should I go for it? We're arriving at 3:45. Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah, and then we clean down this.
Yeah, perfect. 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock's good.
Perfect.
So I'll get a 3-course.
Okay.
I'll get the pork belly bites. I want the risotto and the toffee pudding.
Right, thank you very much. So you might be wondering if I've now got rich from all the YouTube money, and I can very firmly tell you that. Sadly, no, I haven't. So I would really appreciate it if you could donate to my £3,000 settlement application. I just so happen to have realised that on this specific route, the first class fixed ticket happens to be pretty much the same price as like a flexible second class ticket, which is also not much more expensive than a fixed second class ticket. So like, I'm actually paying very little extra for this. I mean, except for the food, I'm paying for the food. But by giving them that £10ish extra on the ticket, I get the privilege of being a customer at the purportedly best train restaurant in the UK. Anyway, back to the language stuff. I'm about to get off soon, but can I just say one thing? This book is said to be the 2025 edition. There is a bit in it that refers to 2014 in the future tense. That means they haven't updated at least that part of the book for like 11 years. Why does it say 2025 edition? It's like a scam, is this? It's like those textbooks, but at least those textbooks actually find some ways to make it up to date. TSO, the other company connected to the test, I'm calling you out. Update that one sentence.
After all that luxury, I arrived in Cardiff.
Right, pnawn da, rainy Cardiff. Now let's get this over with.
And of course the first thing I did was to pop into a cafe and do some studying. I'm such a dedicated student of British culture, you guys. None of you can hold a candle. As I arrived in Cardiff Bay to do some studying in the Millennium Centre, I came across a question about how to book a visit of the Parliaments. At that moment, I got an idea. I realised, wait, I'm literally just next to the Senedd. What if, instead of booking online, I just did this?
Helo, pnawn da. Gai ofyn just cwestiwn bach. Mae'n iawn.
He replied in perfect Welsh.
How would I be able to book a tour of the Senedd? Diolch yn fawr.
Will I actually get to book a tour on such short notice? We'll get back to that later, but it's study time. Who knew one of my favourite cafes in Cardiff would end up being the literal Parliament? And on top of studying, I get to listen to whatever event was going on. With only one evening left, I spent basically all the time that I had going through the materials, going through the study guides, and going through as many practice tests as I could get my hands on. And of course, this being Britain, that involved sitting in a Wetherspoons for around 6 hours. Also that evening, the company running the tests called me once again to make sure everything was going well, that I knew what was about to happen, and in case any question had to be asked about the process.
Will I have the room to myself, or will there be other people as well? It's just me, because everyone else has done their computer-based tests. So did you say I have to arrive early, 15 minutes, 30 minutes? Yes, to go through the checks and identity and that kind of stuff. I used my e-visa, but also I brought my passport just in case. I assume I won't be able to take lots of things into it, so do you have lockers I can put like my phone into?
I'm sure they just wanted to make sure nothing else could go wrong so that there was nothing I could blame them for.
When will I get the results? Because I heard normally they get it in like half an hour because they do it on a computer. Within the next week, that's fine, yeah, I can work with that. I know not certificate in the literal sense, so I just take the code and then put in my application using that. Brilliant. Yeah, I think that's everything. I'm in Cardiff right now, I'm quite ready. I'll be there at 4 o'clock, yeah, on time, I'll be up early. Thanks for getting this organised for me. You've been really helpful since you got in touch personally. So thanks for helping me go through the process and organising that. Yeah, I'm sure everything's going to be fine.
Bore da bawb, I'm now at the Gorsedd in the Butte Park.
Park Butte, whatever. It's now the morning of the test day. I've got a few more points of order I'd like to go through before my actual test. I'd like to go through my mistakes on the test prep website. It's because it's got a function like Duolingo where you can review your mistakes. I want to go through all my memory aids that I've made for especially the sportsmen, the artists, the inventors, that kind of stuff. And if I've got any time left, I want to go through those name lists as well, just in case I've missed anything. I now have around, exactly 5 hours till my test, but actually I've got 2.5 hours because I've scheduled my IRL live stream before that, so better get studying. Okay, let's do the mistakes. I just got one about how far it is from Land's End to John O'Groats, which is 870 miles. I will remember that to the day I die. Also, the London Eye is 135 meters tall. The Bayer Tapestry is 70 meters long, or 230 feet. I need to know that in both units. I don't remember what else I need to know about lengths and heights. We'll see. Prayer book, that would be Edward VI. When did Scottish people leave for? That would be after the clearances. When were the clearances? Clearances were after the Jacobite uprising, which was 1746. So that would be the late 1700s. No, shit. Close. I'm thinking late 18, but it's early 19. Oh, that's going to change soon. How many members are in the Senedd? 60. That's going to be 96 in a few months. How often are Europeans MEP elected? I think that's not going to be in the test because Brexit, but 5 years. How long was Britain free from the Romans? 100 years because they won in 43. What's the National Citizen Service? That's also not in the test because it's been cancelled. When did the British Film Studios... Hello, little doggy. What are you looking for? Good. You?
Yeah.
2 of them. Cute. Oh, lovely.
Double trouble.
Which country did not get its independence in 1947? West Indies. Sri Lanka did. Not Bangladesh. Bangladesh came later. Who directed Bells of St. Trinian? St. Trinian, that would be Londa, yeah. I have a memory aid, I'm not going to tell you that. When was the French Revolution? 1789. 1,000 years after the Viking invasion. No more mistakes. Mistakes are gone. Okay, now let's check on the mems. Battle of the Boyne. That's not history, by the way, that's just a mnemonic. Uh, 2008 looks like whatever. And so when men see the 8008, they want to force women into marriage. 1939. I think that's very good, because Hitchcock did horror. I remember these years because they're like stereotypically important years in a woman's lifespan or something.
All done. I think that's all the studying I'm gonna do. I've already spent over 10 times as much time as anyone else would have done on this thing, because after all this fuss, I'd look pretty stupid if I failed. And the final thing I have to do before the test is to meet up with my friend Melody, and you know what? I'm just gonna hand this over to Past Israel, live from Cardiff. And when I say live, I do mean live.
What happened in 1746? What happened? What happened in 1746? No, what is it? What is it, Samuel?
Is that part of his life in the UK test?
Clearances were after the Jacobite uprising, which was 1746.
I'm actually gonna do it now, chat. It's happening. It's been a long journey.
Yay, I'm taking it over.
It's been half a year. I announced this thing in early August. It is now almost February, so half a year. We'll see how it goes.
15 minutes later.
You're done. He's coming back.
So, Past Israel, what was it like?
They take the security very seriously. They made me take out all my stuff. They check my identity, of course. They pat me down. They check all my sleeves and the trousers, collars, and then they use a metal detector on me and on my glasses as well. But my glasses are metal, so That's a bit daft. So I know you might be interested about the quality of the translation.
Yes.
I suspect this test has either gone through an OCR machine or someone who doesn't speak Welsh has transcribed it. For example, there is a lot of os that became uppercase. One of them became a 0. Potentially, someone wrote the test in Welsh by hand, and then they put it in a computer. Syn, which is SY''N, became S uppercase VN. In terms of the content of the test, I got all the Wales specific ones. I don't know if everyone in Wales taking this test gets all the Wales ones. Oh, what's the capital of Wales? What's the flower that represents Wales? When is St. David's Day? I got the whole shebang, all of them.
I feel like there's more question about Wales in the Welsh version.
In theory, there should be, but I wasn't expecting to get all the questions about Wales, like all of them. I think I got like 4 of them, as I said. Surprisingly, I got like several questions on the different bills and things. So those are easy. All history questions would be easy. For me, yeah, at this point, after so much studying, there was a question about the Habeas Corpus Act, where it was like, oh, which of the following is true? There's 2 statements. Both of them started with, during the reign of Charles II. One of them said, Shar Rael. The other one said, Charles Rael. So like one was in Welsh, one was in English. I don't know how that happened. I don't understand. Was it Google Translate? Was it someone who did it? Because if someone did it, it wouldn't be like that. So is it possible that they machine translated it and then printed it out and then scanned it and put it through OCR? What? It's really ironic that all the difficult stuff that I was expecting to be difficult, like history, like very specific things, those were easy as like they asked me who ran the first mile under 4 minutes. I know that was Roger Bannister. How much you can claim using the small claims procedure, and that is 10 grand. Oh, that reminds me as well. Yeah, another OCR thing. The pound sign, that became a capital E. 100% OCR. Yeah, probably OCR. Yeah, otherwise it would not become E. The stuff that I expected to be difficult were all easy partly because I was so prepared for them, right? The one that I expected to be easy was actually the hardest. I'm still not sure. So, are British Overseas Territories part of the UK? That is the one I'm not sure about. They're not part of the UK. Yes! I think I'm getting full marks. So, good. I think I have 24. We won't know. We will never know. I think it really helped that so many of them are like basic facts about Wales, which is a good thing. I would recommend taking the test in Wales or Scotland. Maybe you get more of these. Are you feeling relieved? I think I'm relieved, yeah. I never thought I would fail. I did a lot to make sure of that. I spent hours and hours, more, like 10 times more time on it than most people have. So I made sure I would not fail. But I was just nervous about just taking the exam itself, especially since I've made such a big deal out of it, right? It's like a monumental moment in my life now after all that's happened. I would be elated if I got full marks, but I would never know. So it is fine, I don't have to know. Okay, so next steps. When I get the result for this, I will get a code which I can use for my applications. Another requirement, as I have talked about many times, I have to keep making it very clear, the citizenship test and the language requirement are separate things, okay? And both should be able to be satisfied in Welsh, and currently, not both of them are. I will make a video to talk about this in more detail, maybe when I submit my application. So next steps will be actually to apply for indefinite leave to remain, which is going to be probably mid-March. I want to do it ASAP because I want to be able to leave the country as soon as possible. During the application process, I will not be allowed to leave the country.
If you want him to travel earlier, donate to him.
I would also love to swear my oath in Welsh, but I don't think that's going to be a thing, sadly. The micro-celebrity status in Wales seems like a good enough reason. That and you being one of 2 people to do the test in Welsh. You're inspiring non-Welsh speaking Welsh people to learn the language in a way no one else. Really?
Yeah, that guy is really popular.
Am I? I mean, I would be honored. I'd be honored. I'm just doing my little thing.
Gosh, I just feel like my life has lost all meaning now. There's no point anymore. I've spent my last few weeks on this one thing. Now it's done. What next? I've forgotten what else there is to life other than life in the UK. What now?
What now indeed? Well, I've got a weekend left in Cardiff, so the question is what else I'm gonna do. I sort of just had a very nice buffet, walked across the bay to Penarth. Oh, and I did a tour of the centres that I booked earlier. Remember that? Remember?
Nakadin.
Ah, great.
I thought that was okay.
Have either of you been to the Eisteddfod, by the way?
I have.
Which one did you go to?
The last one. The
Wrexham. Wrexham, right. I went to Wrexham 15 years ago. As a new parliament, we want to be a modern parliament. We want to be a parliament for the people. Richard Rogers is a very famous architect, and he's given us a characteristic building here, which is a symbol of the ambition, if you like, of the Welsh Parliament. Some of the things that we want from a parliament is to be transparent. The second thing is we want to be a sustainable building. And then the third, we want a building which is significant for the people in Wales. All the slate comes from North Wales, and it's sustainable because the slate isn't going to wear out. Secondly, we use a lot of Welsh wood. So all this wood here is Welsh oak. The third thing is, so we use a lot of Welsh steel from Port Talbot. We used to have the largest steelwork in the UK, and they were threatening to close. We went to the UK Parliament and we said, you're going to have to help us, 5,000 people onto the dole. What are you going to do? Nothing. They did nothing. They were going to close steelworks in Scunthorpe. The government said, oh, well, we can't have 5,000 people thrown out of work. We will buy the steelworks in Scunthorpe to save these 5,000 jobs. They didn't do it for us in Wales. The fourth thing is we use the Welsh workforce, so we're keeping money in the Welsh economy. Did you know the United Kingdom is only in its present form since 1707?
I know that very well.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I just took my citizenship test yesterday.
Oh, wow.
I know all of that by heart.
Sorry, I have to say, the citizens test is shocking.
Have you seen it?
I have seen it. I wouldn't pass some of the questions, because you don't need that to be a good citizen. People talk about Henry VIII. They don't realise he came from Wales. He was from Wales.
The Tudors.
So yeah, exactly, Tudors. In Welsh we call it
Titid.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. The problem with the public is we tell them what's going to happen. They ignored it. They didn't. What you're supposed to do is to say, oh, I object because I think 20 miles an hour is too slow. It should be 40 miles an hour or 50 miles an hour. Nobody got in touch. For this law, we have to have 2/3 majority.
40.
So it passed no problem. The minute it passed, that's when everybody, but it's too late. Tell us what you think,
People don't participate in policy until it's too late and it affects them.
This is going to be our 7th election from May. The previous 6, we have never hit 50%. So if only half the people are taking part in the election, it's difficult to...
Even the elections, that's the easiest way to participate.
Exactly, yeah, but it's almost a civic duty. Guys,
okay, you got carried away.
Yeah, but I'm absolutely astonished how much you know. It's absolutely incredible.
So you're finishing the reconstruction in May, just in time for the elections.
So we're sitting in a circle to try and bring people together by where you're sitting. So
as opposed to Westminster.
Yeah. Now with Westminster, Westminster was designed to be
confrontational.
Do you remember the funnel from upstairs?
It's just a shame that we couldn't go into the actual chamber because of the reconstruction.
Inside the funnel, we have these aluminium rings that we saw on the television, and the purpose of these rings is to reflect daylight so it goes all the way down into the chamber. Sometimes this turns quite quickly because it's drawing air out of the chamber. And then
it turns?
It turns. We collect all the rainfall from the roof, and we can use the water then to wash the windows or to flush in the loos. So we're facing southwest, so we get the maximum amount of sunlight during the day. The floor saves money.
The slate, you said.
Yeah, we don't have to replace this. Wales is famous for slates. We have so much of this. The reason for the roof being like
Wavy?
this, yeah, is because of the waves of the sea.
Dim problem o gwbl.
Dwi wedi gwirioni bod chi'n siarad Cymraeg. Mae hyn yn ffantastig. Pan nes i ddysgu Cymraeg, o'n i'n mynd i Ogledd Cymru. Pobl yn dod at fi dweud, oh diolch, thank you for respecting our language.
Huge shout out to Shay, who gave us this amazing tour and discussion.
No, wrth gwrs, yn y dynasau.
Ironically, being a Welsh learner himself, I think he was even more excited about speaking Welsh with us than many native speakers.
Y pethau. Ond pobl yn really yn gwerthfawrogi
Yndyn.
y bod chi'n siarad Cymraeg. So, yeah, fantastic. It really made my day. So, da iawn yn...
Diolch chi hefyd.
Wow!
Iawn, da chi wedi dysgu yn dda.
Wel, wedi gael yn bleser cyfarfod chi. So, na i arach chi i fynd nawr. Mwynhewch gweddill y diwrnod.
A chi hefyd, diolch yn fawr iawn. Diolch am y daith, ac am y sgwrs.
Pleser o mwyaf, pleser nawr. Right, popwyl felly.
Hopwyl. So yeah, I did it. I did the thing I said I'd do. In fact, I got a phone call last night saying I'd passed when I was going to the toilet in the Owain Glyndŵr pub, which is fitting in my opinion. Now what's left is just applying for indefinite leave to remain, aka settlement. Or is it? Because if you remember, there's still one step in the process. There's still the language requirement that I really like to satisfy in Welsh. And indeed, I have an update to share, but you have to wait for the next video in the saga. But for now, I can proudly say that I am probably the second person ever, and the first Asian ever, to pass the citizenship test in Welsh. And more importantly, you should always fight for language rights, because it is worth it.